If there is one really big goal that I always wanted to achieve on my self evolution journey and at some point complete in my life, is to completely touch the ground without bending my knees whatsoever. You see, for most of my life, I've been watching my dad. I've been watching my 70-year-old Slovakian language teacher from primary school, who was also my head teacher, touching the ground without bending their knees whatsoever. And not just, touching them with the tips of their index and their middle finger, but also with their entire palms as well. And every single time I was looking at them, and I thought to myself, bro, that's completely nuts. At an advanced age, just like that, why can that be me? And that's exactly what my father used to always say to me. You're so young, and yet you cannot even touch the ground? Bro, what are you doing all day? You must stop this and start practicing this immediately. And so, a couple of months ago, I decided that I had enough. And from now on, every single day, I will do one exercise that my dad showed me that will get me to touch the ground soon enough. You see, this exercise is a pretty easy one. You basically sit on the couch in a vertical position and you put one of your legs, to touch the ground. Like you're sitting on the couch and you let one of them touch the ground. And then you take your other leg and then you basically rotate it 45 degrees away no, 90 degrees away from you, and so that it is in a perfectly vertical line. And then what you do is that you try to reach your small fingers on your right foot with your hand. And you do that for X amounts of seconds per day. My dad does it pretty much for 5 minutes every single day. And that is exactly what keeps him fit, even at an advanced age that he is at right now. And so I've been slowly but surely progressively overloading this, and I've gotten to the point where I can finally touch the ground with just the tip of my fingers, and for only like 10 seconds. But it is at least something, because I still remember the days when I would still grind Minecraft every single day for hours on end. Bro, back then, when I tried to do it, my all of my fingers were basically levitating like 20 centimeters above ground. I couldn't touch the ground without bending my knees whatsoever. I was so unflexible. I was both unflexible when it came to productivity and unflexible when it came to actual physical endeavors in the first place. Yeah, that was very sad. But eventually, I powered through with the pain. And recently, as I was doing this on this one day, a couple of days ago, I noticed something very interesting. You see, whenever I get up from bed, the first thing that I always like to do is to stretch myself as much as possible and to exercise, because that usually gets me going like there's no tomorrow whatsoever. It signals to my brain, yeah, Timeless Reader is now awake. Let's absolutely dominate this day and read in between the lines and get as many valuable life lessons as possible. And so, of course, I work out. I do some push ups, a plank, I do some curls on my fitness ball, and of course, I train my neck. And lastly, in between the sets, as I train my neck, I do that stretching exercise on my couch. And my couch isn't really the best for this practice, but it is decent enough because, it is like slightly curved so that it looks like a top of a hill, for example. But it is like just a difference of like 3 centimeters, so it's not really that big of a deal. But as I was reaching a couple of days ago for my toes on that day, and when I finally reached them after struggling for like 10 seconds straight, I noticed something very interesting, and of course, I was mindful about this always, but this time it really stood out for me because for the first 10 seconds of the 20 seconds that I was touching my toes, bro, the pain was absolutely unfathomable, and And on this day, it was even worse than usual. But of course, that means that you're actually getting somewhere with your life. And so I decided to power through, and guess what? It was literally like a scene from a movie. After those 10 seconds, the pain literally became 2 times less as prevalent as it was for those first 10 seconds. And I finished those last 10 seconds without any effort whatsoever, without almost no pain whatsoever. It was like a scene from a movie, like I had overcome this huge struggle. And as I do this each and every single day, I notice that this happens every single day actually. Whoa. Because I mean, like, of course, when you do any kind of exercise, whether it's a push up or that plank, whatever, when you do it, of course, for the first couple of seconds, as that pain slowly but surely builds up, it stops at one point, and you get no new pain, but that current pain is still there, but that new pain just stops coming, and you end up at a fine baseline where you can stay. But of course, you cannot stay in an exercise forever, otherwise you will tear apart your muscles, and yeah, that won't be good. And so I'm finally happy that I noticed this, because this was very interesting actually. The way that you actually touch the ground is that you basically tell your brain that it is okay, because it's not actually a physical factor that keeps you from not touching the ground. It is a mental factor. Your brain is stopping you from touching the ground, because think about it. You don't usually stretch that far during the day, do you? Meaning that your brain is used to like the current position that it puts you in whenever you try to do it. So whenever you actually try to do it, your brain, it gets this signal that you're basically doing this unusual movement, and it thinks that you're gonna hurt yourself. So it stops you in the tracks. It says stuff like, wait, that's unusual. Stop him right now. And so, of course, the way that you must level up this is through nothing but good old pain and the good old progressive overload, meaning that each and every single day you do at least 1 second more of stretching, and soon enough, everything will be fine with this exercise. The muscle that stops you the most, and that stops me the most, is my calves and like the entire backside of my legs. But usually, as you stretch them out over the course of months, yeah, you'll be able to do it in no time. But there was something very symbolical that I noticed about this exercise. Hmm. You see, this isn't just a physical factor of pain, but it is also a mental factor of pain. Meaning that if you have any kind of skill that you want to get better at, if you have any kind of mastery that you want to master in the future, whether it is building an affiliate marketing business, which does work and it isn't a scam, it's just that you need to look at the right places, whether it is like mastering karate or judo or MMA fights, whatever, whether it is mastering any kind of language, it always follows the same trajectory. The first couple of 20 hours, I would say, the first 20 hours to 100 hours, it will be completely hard. And the pain that you will feel in those first uncertain hours of learning, of broadening your horizons, will absolutely fucking hurt. And that's the beauty about it. Because eventually, when you escape, that graph of the pain growing exponentially, it will actually stop at the 20-hour mark, and then it will slow down, and then you will reach a fine baseline where you will, of course, well, it will be still painful, but now the confidence that you have built over the past 50 hours or so of learning about the skill and practically implementing it, of course, never forget about that part, you will have such a huge amount of confidence that basically you will do it as a second nature. And that's the beauty about pain. It always brings you so much suffering in the current term, in the short term, but in the long term, it can absolutely bring you such a greatness because, of course, when you practice a karate kick for the first 1000 times, it will hurt. Not just, like a physical pain because you're hitting like the punching bag, but because you actually aren't good at it. And it's a mental pain. It is a mindset struggle because you get all of these negative thoughts saying stuff to you like, "Are you sure you're actually gonna get good at this? Look at you. You failed the past 538 times. What makes you think that you can continue like this? You're a useless piece of." But then you stop it in the tracks, you calm down, and you continue forward. Because you know about the breaking the dam analogy, and you know that if you put in enough effort, you will break the dam and everything will be fine. And that's the absolute unfathomable detail, the greatest factor about pain and how to leverage it in any kind of skill. It brings you pain in the short term, but in the long term, it brings such beautiful rewards, so much respect, so much skills, so much new opportunities to grow, so many opportunities to make money. It's just completely insane. But of course, pain, it can also destroy you and not make you into the best version of yourself that you can possibly become in this life. It can also destroy you because remember, we can switch this so we can have the pleasure in the short term and the pain in the long term. And you already know what I'm talking about. Bad habits like video games, social media, pornography, drugs, alcohol, junk food in general. You understand. That brings you pain in the long term because you will have shitty health, whether it is mental and physical. You will have no money because you spent all of it on PH Plus. You will have also no friends, and even the ones that you will have will be completely shitty because you understand what I'm trying to say. But the biggest lesson that I want you to get away with after watching this video is to realize the biggest challenge that most men face at an early age. You see, they think to themselves stuff like, I have way too much potential, I don't want it to go to waste. So, why don't you sacrifice your early years so that in the future you can live off a nice life? You see, they say stuff like, oh, enjoy your teens and your early 20s, you will never get this life back. And so, after you party and drink so much alcohol in your 30s, 40s, and 50s, you will have literally such diseases that you have no idea even existed in the first place. So it's not worth it whatsoever. Why are you even doing it in the first place? So why don't you go all out? There are guys who are 15 years old, who are so young, who may be literally a whole decade younger than you. And guess what? They have the potential and they will make $1 million in the next year. I'm not joking. That's just how the world functions. And yet you're sitting here saying stuff like, oh, purpose in life. What's that bullshit? I'm just gonna go to university and rely on the government to give me a job that will pay me $1,500 per month. Bro, you realize that when you become an entrepreneur and you sacrifice the first a year of your entrepreneurship journey of, showing up every single day and slowly but surely refining your skill, then don't you think that the universe and God won't reward you after that first bloody and painful year is finally over? Don't you think that after an entire year of showing up every single day, they won't reward you? Of course they will. Of course. After the first 3 years of going to the gym, you will have such a beautiful physique, such a magnificent vessel that everyone will envy you, but in a good way, of course. Yeah, pain brings a bright future for you, always. But only if you leverage it the right way. Only if you choose to pick the pain option right now. Because in the future, as you become better and better at any kind of this skill, you will get so much delayed pleasure and so much fulfillment that will eventually bring happiness to your life that you will never want to go back. And discipline will become your first option when it comes to completing any kind of task. If you want to join a community where we discuss our mental health and full of like-minded men who share the same values as you, the same likes and dislikes, the same goals as you, who are becoming the best version of themselves every single day to surpass you in the race of men, but at the same time, they will be like your true blood-bonded brothers with whom you can talk about any kind of topic and any kind of life story that you wish, then you can join our Discord clan in the description. I know that if you're watching videos like these and willing to take action, that you have way more potential than you think you have. So please, harness it and join us on the path towards greatness. I know that you will find your place in there. But besides that, you can like the video, you can subscribe if you want, join the email list in the description and get yourself a free ebook about mindfulness. Comment on which part of the video you liked the most and which part of the video you will implement into your daily life. Don't forget to join the clan, you're still invited and become a part of the family. Bro, I can't speak. If you want to learn about healthy mindsets that will guarantee you success in the long term and in the short term by mending your mental health and bringing you on the right path, no matter what, no matter the life test, no matter the goal, then I highly suggest that you should go check out Timeless Reader's Mindsets. It is truly something life changing, and you would be an absolute fool to miss out, especially with the discount that we have right now. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video, Timeless Reader. Thank you very much for watching it, and remember, no one is better at being you